Hello everyone, it's Shel from Paper Actio Studio. Today I'm sharing with you my Mission Inspiration art journal page for March 2017. This is a challenge provided by Mike Deacon from Mike Deacon Art Channel. He has a Facebook group where he posts these as well as his channel. And I've been doing them now for a year, plus this is my third month and my second year. So having fun with them. Similar to our pick a stick challenge that I have over in my Facebook group, but he's only got 8 prompts now, but he's added a color combination as well as some words to inspire you for your page. So step 1 was to apply pattern paper or tissue. I decided to use some of the paper that I have from back when I thought I was going to scrapbook. Yeah, right. I was already way too far behind on, doing chronological scrapbooking, and I did it for a while, and then I just kind of gave up. So I have materials left over, like this pattern paper, which is from Stampin' Up, and it's, I'm sure, discontinued long ago, because, this was long ago, back when I was a Stampin' Up demonstrator for 10 years. And that's the reason I was scrapbooking anyway, was because of Stampin' Up. So I applied that with Liquitex matte gel medium, and then I went ahead and put some on the rest of the page as well, so that I wouldn't have 2 different textures between, the pattern paper that had gel on it and the background that did not. This is a 9x12 spiral bound journal with 140-pound cold pressed watercolor paper in it. It's made by, I believe, Strathmore. The next step was to apply a suggested color, and the colors were green, yellow, and brown suggested this month. And so I picked out this green gold and then this transparent brown oxide, which are both golden high flows. And when I put the transparent brown oxide on there, I thought it was kind of behaving like a glaze, because I already had put the matte gel on there to seal everything. It wasn't exactly sticking to the paper or absorbing because of the gel, and so I decided to use it like a glaze and kind of make it make my page look distressed. So I just, before it was completely dry, I just wiped it off. I decided to put it over everything and then just wipe it off with a baby wipe a little bit to kind of make the page look distressed. Step 3 was to use a stencil with a medium of your choice. I didn't feel like using like molding paste or texture paste or anything like that. I just didn't want to. I was just trying to make a quick page, get it completed. Didn't have a plan, so I decided that my medium was going to be acrylic paint. So again, I'm using the green gold. This is just one of my favorite colors right now. I'm really kind of obsessed with it. I've been using it so much, as I'm sure you guys have seen if you've been watching my videos. And I'm just using a cosmetic sponge through this 12x12 Crafters Workshop. I think it's called Leaves Striped, or Striped Leaves, or something like that. Stencil. And I just put it over the whole background. Called it good. Cleaned it up. Then the next step, step 4, was to add a focal image, and I felt like painting. I felt like doing something loose and expressive and just, nothing fussy. I didn't feel like cutting anything out or making a real detailed drawing. So I decided to use my new China marker, which is kind of a waxy pencil that was originally created to write on China, to mark it or whatever on the bottoms. It writes on anything. I think it would write on plastic. I think it would write on metal. But it's just kind of a fun tool to draw with. You can blend it if you want to. I don't know. It's interesting. It kind of comes out like a crayon a little bit, but it has more ability to stick to things than a crayon, because it's softer maybe. I don't know. And then when you want to sharpen it, you just peel it back. It's got like these peels. So it's a new something that I got, I think last month, and wanted to play with. So I just decided to make a very loose, expressive sort of a drawing of some flowers in a vase, mimicking the pattern on the patterned paper. So the pattern paper had like 6 petal random flowers and then kind of a swirly vine and very simple basic leaves. So I stayed with that same idea, and then I decided to just make it into a very simple, quick acrylic painting. This is not fussy. This is not I could do more colors. I could do more shading. I could do more highlights. I could have made it into something a lot more time consuming, but I wasn't in the mood for that. I just wanted to paint. I just wanted to get some paint and a brush and you know, just do it. So I started out with white gesso because my background is dark and I wanted the flowers to be able to have enough ability to like stand out. Also, I've got mediums on there and different paints and it might be slick. So I just decided to go ahead and use gesso. Gesso is a primer, so it'll pretty much stick to anything and it'll give you a good basis. It also adds texture. So I'm making very loose. See how my hand is loose, my wrist is loose, and I'm letting the paintbrush kind of, I don't know, flop around. I'm applying the gesso not smoothly, so it's creating a texture for my leaves and flowers. So that was my idea, as well as just kind of giving it, giving a light background for my paints to go over in case I wanted them to be brighter. I did want them to be brighter. I made the bouquet asymmetrical, a little bit off center, so that it would be more visually interesting rather than just a round circle of flowers. Setting it to the side of the page and then letting that one side be wider than the other side, I think is more interesting to look at than just something real basic. And then I got some heavy body student grade Liquitex Basics acrylic, and this is cerulean blue hue, and then I mixed it with the white gesso because I wanted it to be lighter. The background pattern paper has a light blue flower on the brown background. You can probably tell what years it was from because there was this whole resurgence of light blue and brown and pink and brown, light pink and brown, and they were like everywhere. The clothing, the accessories, everything was in those colors, and now that's kind of past. So you can tell if you remember color trends, you can tell when this paper is from. It was in a pack that also had some light pink and brown and different stripes. It's two-sided paper. It's got pattern on both sides. So then I got out the brilliant yellow green, green gold, yellow green. You see a pattern there. This is also a Liquitex Basics, and I did that with the leaves, and then I got out some buff titanium in the PBO Studio acrylics. I was looking at the shape that I drew on the vase. I mean, I wasn't thinking when I was drawing. I was just doing a quick, sketchy drawing, but it kind of looks like milk glass. I don't know if you guys remember milk glass, but some of it was kind of a whitish off-white with little dots on it. So you'll see what I do with that in a minute after I finish. I grayed down some of the green with a little bit of the blue for a darker shade just to add a little bit of contrast into my leaves. And then I used the used the buff titanium actually in the flowers to add a highlight. Not being fussy, quick, easy, loose painting. And that's about all. I didn't use a bunch of colors. I didn't do a bunch of blending. Just something real simple and quick. Then this is where I'm looking through I have a little, it's like an old chopped chicken can, and it's got a lot of different round mark making tools, spools, insides of paper things, things like that. This one is actually a brush. When you buy a nice brush, it has a plastic over it that slides on and off to protect the bristles until it is being used. And I have a couple of those, and I'm dipping it into the leftover paint, the white gesso and the blue, and I'm putting these dots on, which are mimicking the bumps on milk glass. So trying to make it look more like a milk glass vase. So that's how I did it. And then for the centers of the flowers, I use one of my other round mark making tools and the white gesso and pop some centers into my flowers. And then I do go back with a brush and just kind of fill them in a little bit with the titanium buff titanium, whichever one it is this week. And then, I mean, this thing isn't even dry. And I go back and add in sketchy black lines back around it to redefine the drawing that I've covered up with the acrylic paint. So this was fun. It was relaxing on a Saturday morning before anybody was awake. Just a quickie, fast, fun painting in my art journal. I enjoyed it a lot. Sketchy, fast lines. Okay, step 5. This one snuck up on me. Use 2 rubber clear stamps, at least 2. These are also Stampin' Up! Stamps from a set that's probably discontinued. I'll look for it, but I'm pretty sure it's long gone. Both the pieces came in the set. And I'm just using my black archival ink to just stamp right over the top of everything, adding more lines and texture and visual interest to the flowers. And I like the way it turned out. I didn't know that I was going to do that. I didn't know I was going to do anything on this page. It was completely just winging it. But I like the way it turned out. Looks cool. So I'm glad that step came up. Next one is to make marks with a credit card or an ATM card. I'm just using the buff titanium. Oh, why can't I say that today? That's left over on my palette, and then making stripe. Kind of the whole background is kind of stripes because of the pattern of the stencil, plus the way that I put the pattern paper is kind of blocky, and so I put up and down stripes and then horizontal stripes in the background, just to add more interest with the credit card. I think that's actually a gift card or a key card from a hotel. I don't know. Step 7, add a quote, title, or phrase. So I printed off a quote. It's actually lyrics from a song from Tom Petty, and attach those using matte liquid medium, which I like to use for lighter weight papers. That's actually a rescued brush. I soaked it with, it was a glue brush before, and it was completely hard, and I soaked it in the Murphy's oil soap for a week, and then tried to get some of the gunk out of it. Some of it came out. It's not completely clean, but it works enough to use it as a glue brush. So that was all good. The last step was to add a border. Did that with the same China marker. And that's it for me. Thanks. Bye-bye. Oh yes, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Thanks. Bye.